Welcome to Wonder Woman Live podcast, where I interview powerful women all over the world to help motivate you to step out of your comfort zone in pursuit of what your true life calling is. What do you daydream? What excites you? How can you help other women with your own unique skills? Our mission is to help you find your true inner warrior, to give you a strength to go after your passion. I'm your host, Ikumi Shukert, transformational coach and spiritual healer, to guide you to reconnect to your authentic power. This is episode number 2. Our guest today is Lexi D'Angelo. Lexi is a quantum transformation coach, certified NLP practitioner, and clinical hypnotherapist for leaders who are ready to fully claim their highest level of prosperity, self-expression, and fulfillment on their terms. She has created a highly effective modality for change called integrative alchemy, which is a potent blend of neuroscience, energetics, physiology, metaphysics, quantum physics, and ancient wisdom. By utilizing integrative alchemy, Lexi is able to help her clients ditch the BS beliefs, limiting programming, and self-sabotaging tendency that have been holding them back, and instead upgrade their co-creatrix coding so they can collapse timelines and experience quantum shifts in days, hours, or even minutes instead of years. Now, this is Lexi D'Angelo. Enjoy the show. So Lexi, can you tell our listener about your bio, where you're from and what you do, and, just introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to. So I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts, but I now live in Bermuda, which is somewhere in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and it's very, very beautiful here. But I have been in the coaching industry for the past 5 years now, and it has been quite the journey. But up to this point, I now call myself a quantum transformation coach, a certified NLP practitioner, and a clinical hypnotherapist for leaders who are ready to fully claim their highest level of prosperity, self-expression, and fulfillment on their terms. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it sounds very awesome.
It is. It is.
Yeah, we met at the NLP training, and
Yes.
then we happened to sit very closely. So actually, Lexi helped me with overcoming some of the blocks that I was dealing with then, and also you helped me tremendously on hypnotherapy that I could see my future self, and that was such a transformation for me.
That was so cool. That was amazing. I loved being a part of it, and you were so fun to work with. It was awesome.
Yeah, we've been through a lot of past lives and in a lot of different, that was very interesting, right?
I know. It feels like so long ago. I can't believe it was only like a couple months ago. It feels like another lifetime almost.
Right?
Yeah.
That was intense and a lot of, transformation going on. Awesome.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, what was your superpower as a little girl that you wish you still have, but you do still have?
So yeah, I feel like my biggest superpower as a little girl was probably my creative mind. I loved anything that I could get my hands on, whether it was like creating these little figurines from other planets or writing. I was like writing novels or I don't know, books at a very young age. Anything I could do to get creative, I was obsessed with. And I feel like that's still one of my superpowers today, and something that I'm always tapping into is my creativity and how I can really just be as creatively expressed as possible in everything that I do. So I feel like it's something that isn't lost on me and is something that helps to differentiate me inside of this space for sure.
Wow. So you could write the novels and stuff as a kid?
I was writing, who knows what I was writing, but I was really young. My mom has all these books of these I don't know, things that I was, fantasy worlds that I was writing. And I love even today reading fantasy romance novels and stuff like that. So not much has changed.
Wow. That's very interesting too, because what you had as a superpower as a kid, you still have it, but a lot of people kind of lost in touch and I used to be like that. But to me, how I perceive that person is that person, that the way you describe it. So It's kind of interesting because I know you're super creative, and I just love that the world and stuff, because like, little kid has that. And then like, a lot of people kind of tend to forget that part, as we grown up. So it's so awesome that you still have that creativity and still in touch with that part of yourself. Now, next question is, what is your definition of being a powerful woman? Or can you share some favorite quotes?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think being a powerful woman, it really depends on your definition of powerful. And I think that what's so beautiful is that we all have our own definitions as women and we get to express that as we see fit. But one of my favorite quotes is, I don't know who it's by, but it's, "You create your own reality." And I love this so much because, as you know, a lot of NLP work is always about being at cause, not effect. And I think that it's just so powerful when we're able to claim the power that we have over our lives and take the power back into our hands rather than being a victim or saying like, oh, well, the world is doing this to me, or, that external factor is like why I'm like this. And we can just say, all right, like I ultimately created this. So if I want something different, I have the power to choose differently. And so I think that at any given moment, if somebody can really take radical responsibility for their own power, then they're not only going to be powerful, but it's going to just create such a better level of communication with the people inside of your life too, because I think a lot of the reasons people get into disagreements is because they're blaming each other on these external things. But if we could just own it, then I mean, the world would be a much better place.
Wow, that is so powerful. And I think like that, just that on, like you said, like a
Yeah.
lot of people like blaming like outside factors and stuff, instead of like taking responsibility, because, once like everybody start realizing that, and then everybody like living, at their cause, I mean, like you said, world would be much different and much more powerful, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I love
totally.
that. I'm gonna use that quote.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, and the next question is, what is your biggest struggle growing up?
I think that when I was really young, one of my biggest struggles was that I like didn't want to be a kid. I just remember feeling like stuck and
Mhm.
trapped, and like there's so much of this world to see and there's so much to do. Like I was just always so excited about the future and so excited to like be an adult and be able to like be independent. So that was like when I was really young. But then more so in my teenage years, I had a big struggle with my parents' divorce, and particularly I had some, troubling times with my mom and dealing with some tricky family stuff that, I had always come from this family that I thought was like perfect and
Mm.
was really like well off and had, nothing but great childhood experiences. And then kind of things came shattering down a little bit in my teenage years into my 20s with my parents' divorce and the things that happened because of that. And so that was definitely really tricky to navigate, but I feel like I grew so much as a person from that, and that my relationships strengthened so much with my siblings from that experience. And so ultimately, like, while some really fucked up things happened, I'm grateful for them because it led me to where I am now. And I think that it just gave me an experience that allows me to relate to other people and their struggles. And also it was able to build me up and, my power along the way.
Wow. That's very, very, insightful, because I'm sure a lot of people, had in the same similar situation too, that, that's something about parents that, again, being a kid, you have no control over, right? Because that's
Yeah.
you're at your cause. So yeah, that learning that you got from that, and then like now where you are at this point of your life is just such a, like a powerful like example that people can use that as a like, kind of use that as a fuel to be who you are right now.
Yeah, I
That's
love
very
that.
powerful. Yeah. Okay. So, what is your turning point in life, and what made you change?
Hmm. I think the biggest turning point for me was I was dealing with a lot of anxiety, probably from my parents' divorce. And I just remember I was probably around like 22, and I wasn't able to sleep at night because I was like, I mean, there was anxiety about other things, but then there was anxiety about like my purpose in the world. And I was just so frustrated because I was in the corporate world, and I was like, I know I'm meant for so much more than this. How is this my life? Like there must be something more. And it drove me crazy. My husband, Jake, always jokes now about how I wasn't able to sleep back then because I was so confused and so frustrated. And now I can't sleep because I'm so excited and so lit up about my life and my business and my dreams. But there was a point where one day I thought to myself, you know, if God forbid I were to find out that I only had a year left to live, is this how I would live my life? And I was like, hell no, absolutely not. Like something needs to change. And so I was like praying. I was like, please give me a sign, like anything to point me in the right direction. And lo and behold, the next day I was on Facebook and I was scrolling, and there was a Facebook ad that popped up about the School of Integrative or what is it? I'm like, I forget now. The School of Integrative Nutrition, or IIN, the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. And it was all about health coaching. And I had never heard of health coaching before. I had no idea what that was. But when I discovered like you could support women with their health and their wellness and their life goals, I was like, whoa, like this sounds so cool. And so long story short, that was like my gateway drug into the coaching industry, as I like to say. So even though I'm not doing health coaching anymore, that really initiated me into this industry. And from there, like my life, my business, everything has completely changed. And I'm so grateful for that.
Wow, I'm sure like a lot of listener can relate to, you. Like, I mean, just hearing your voice and like all the energy in your words, it's just so exciting. I can
Yeah.
so see you like, like you mentioned earlier, when you're a kid that you wanted to grow up so you can experience the world. And when you're in a corporate world, and also you wanted to like expand, your like potential. And I can totally see you with the energy, just how you speak and your story. I can totally relate to that. I'm sure all the listener can relate to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is so cool. So next question is, so what is your life like now that you found your power within?
Oh, it's amazing.
You're in Bahamas, so
Yeah, Bermuda. Yeah,
Bermuda,
exactly.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, everyone always gets it confused. Yeah, so I live in Bermuda, which is so freaking cool. Like I know for me, like I mean, I love Boston. Boston's an amazing city, but I go outside here and it's like crystal blue water, like white sand. It's just so beautiful. And every day I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe I live here. I'm so, so grateful. But it's not just, where I live, it's the people who I've attracted into my life. I mean, I have the best husband in the entire universe. I absolutely adore him. And we have two amazing dogs that we always, are walking with on the railway trail here. And yeah, just this business that I've created has allowed me to connect with amazing women like you, and has really just, expanded my vision for what's possible and what's available for me. And I just feel like I have all the power in the world to create whatever it is that I desire. And I'm just so incredibly grateful and know that, like I said earlier, like I create my own reality, and just that awareness and having the tools and the resources to do that now, I just feel, unstoppable, which is exciting.
Yeah, definitely. Especially like, like even like you mentioned, just so true. Probably a lot of listener can relate to as well that, wherever you live, whatever the energy that you radiate, that you attract. So like,
Yeah.
even like the, worst time of your life, that even though still you're seeing the positivity and like, being like a more genuine energy through it. And then probably those people are going to reach out to you. That's just so true.
Yes,
But I mean,
totally.
Bermuda, it's way better for sure.
It's great.
So
It's
how long have
great.
you
But
been in Bermuda now?
it's been a little bit over a year so far.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I
No
envy
plans of
you.
leaving.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I want to visit you someday. That
You should
sounds
definitely
really
visit
cool.
me.
Okay, so next question is, where do you see yourself in the next few years?
Yeah, I mean, I see myself doing more of the same of what I'm doing. I love what I do. I'm so passionate about the women that I work with and my mission in the world. And to really just make this all more mainstream. So I really, like, even when I was younger, I loved the idea of like magic. And I
Mhm.
always was waiting for my letter from Hogwarts to come to say, like, you're a witch, like, you're accepted. It never came. I'm still waiting. Actually, my friend sent me like a joke one. So I guess it did
Oh
come.
my
But
God.
I always wanted magic to be real. And I truly do feel like magic, quote unquote, is real because with the tools that I've learned, with the modalities that, are in my toolkit, I feel like anything is possible. And I want to show people that, this magic is real and to make the magic mainstream. And also that it's not just this like woo woo spiritual kind of fluffy thing, but it's real. Like it's based in neuroscience, it's based in psychology, like all these things that we can do to rewire and reprogram our brains and our being and our identity. I mean, there's nothing more powerful than being able to recode your identity and change your
Mhm.
reality. Like that to me is magic. And so just helping get these tools into the hands of more people, so there can be less people who are in this victim mentality and more people who are in this empowered state. And
Mhm.
that way, I just think that so much more positive change can be created inside of the world.
Wow, guys, that's so powerful. What you
It
say just
is.
like gives me goosebumps head to toe. That was
Yeah.
so powerful that I totally see you like, attracting all these powerful women and those, powerful women that you transform are gonna do a good thing in the world. And I think I just
Yeah.
totally see that like a ripple effect of all the
Yes.
positive shift. Wow, that's very
Exactly.
powerful. Okay, so the next question is, what is the piece of advice that you can share with the women on their journey of powerful
Yeah.
women now?
Yeah, I think it depends where you are on your journey, but I think for me, like when I was most confused, I was putting a lot of pressure on myself, like, what do I do next? Like, or what's the thing?
Hmm.
And I think as long as you really tune in to who you truly are, what your true desires are, and just follow those little clues. So I always say, like, follow your turn ons, like what's exciting you, what's turning you on, what's lighting you up. Follow those little clues, and those can never, lead you astray. And as much as you can, tune out the outside noise and the voices of the people telling you like what you should do or who you should be, because ultimately you can't go down the path that they want you to go down. You need to go down the path that's true for you. And along those lines, just being 100% unapologetically you.
Hmm.
And again, I know this is really tough for some people because we've been so conditioned to be a certain identity. But the more that we can really work on uncovering and chipping through the layers so we can find like that true core piece of us and then fully express that, like that is so powerful. And that's when you not only step into who you truly are, but you invite other people to do the same. And that creates a ripple effect. So we're all showing up in our most powerful ways, being our fully expressed selves.
Wow, that's exactly this podcast is about. You almost like
Yes.
explain it in the most, beautiful way that, like you mentioned, like we all have like, who we are truly inside. And then, all the programmings and all the like negative belief kind of cover them around. So
Yes.
maybe outside other people can see the true self, but like for themselves, they can't. So
Right.
like you said, like chipping away those to like stay in tune with who they truly are. That's
Absolutely.
that's the way of, yeah, that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you for saying it in the most like a beautiful way.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
So my last question, how our listener or where our listener can find you?
Yes, so I'm all over social media. You can find me on my website too at it's on lexidangelo.com. That's LEXIDANGELO. You can also find me on Instagram at Lexi D'Angelo. You can find me on Facebook. If you just type in Lexi D'Angelo, you'll be able to find me. And I also have my own podcast over at The Lexi Show. So definitely come tune in and hang out with me over there as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being part of this interview. And then also just, having this conversation, I learned a lot from too. So I'm
Thank you.
sure our listener, got a lot of nuggets from you. And I highly recommend Lexi because again, we were like a bunch of like all the coaches in the group, but like I really, really like, attracted to your powerful like energy, not only just, like not necessarily like the energy, but like, you know, how you carry yourself. You're fun to be around, and just, you know, the overall, like I really, really like enjoy, you know, being
Oh, I
around you.
love
So
you.
yeah, if, you know, people like, you know, thinking about having a coach or some mentor, like somebody want to follow, I highly recommend Lexi. So just, I'm going to put the link. So, you know, you guys can make sure to find her.
Thank you, Kumi.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's been a fun interview.
It was so fun to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
And remember to like and share the platform you heard us, so we can spread the words to inspire more women. And you can also find the show notes on Medium, and make sure to give us an applause.